Hello everyone and welcome to the Hacks of Jishnu. In this video we are going to discuss about a method called locality preserving projections, which is basically a dimensionality reduction technique. Now here it is available as a Python package called lppproj, and it is compatible with scikit-learn, which is a very good thing. Now it can be easily installed using the pip command with the following syntax. To know more about this package, you can go to this particular link. I'll place this link in the description below so that it will be easier for you to directly hop onto the website. Yep. So this video basically deals with saying how locality preserving projections is a beneficial tool when coming to dimensionality reduction. So let's get started. So first of all, let us connect this notebook to an online instance. Meanwhile, let's install lppproj. Okay, so it's connected, and now let's try to install it. Okay, oops, there's a mistake here. Yep. Alright, so we have successfully installed the package. Now let's install the necessary libraries needed for this experiment. I'll go with NumPy and Matplotlib. Now, in order to move on further, we'll have to create a data set. So here I'm creating a broad data set consisting of 1000 data points with 300 features and 4 centers. So this particular data set would contain 4 classes to be specific. Now let's run the cell. Right, now if we try to select some random 2 dimensions from this 300 dimensions, and then if we try to plot the data set, then it should look something like this. So here you can see clearly that we have randomly selected 2 dimension 4 times. So here we have selected one combo of dimensions, and here the permutation changes, here also it changes, here also it changes. So all this projections are basically the permutations of the dimensions that are available in the dataset. And here we can see clearly that even after selecting different dimensions, all these data points look cluttered together. Definitely these colors indicate that they belong to different classes, but nevertheless they are cluttered together. So it's really a challenge to separate them. So now let's see if LPP can help us in differentiating them. So since we have randomly generated data points, this is definitely an experiment to look forward to. So here, okay, since we have already installed the package, I'll delete this. Right, now let's here we have the sample points in the x variable, and then we have the label in the y variable. Now we are taking this x variable and we are transforming it, and we have by default kept the dimensions as 2. So this x would be reduced to 2 dimensions after applying this transformation. So let's do this LPP transformation. So it's done. Now let's try to plot this. So here we can clearly see that all the different clusters are projected at a very far distance from each other, and we are easily able to make out which data point belongs to which cluster. So for more information, I'll keep one more link in the description in which you can go and check out the paper for this particular method. that would help you to understand the math behind this method. So do check out the description box. And now let's see, here we have tried out LPP transformation. Now let's see how this differs from PCA. So PCA is also a standard dimensional reduction technique. So let's see how this thing differs from LPP. So here in the same way we are using PCA or the input data X, and we will reduce it into 2 dimensions. So let's see here. So here also all the different clusters are far from each other, and every data point belongs to the cluster that it belongs to. So like, but we would really ask this question, like how this helps in comparison to LPP. We'll discuss this thing later on, but first let's see. Here it goes like blue, green, I think it's dark purple, and then yellow, and here it's like the sequence is not same. Since each of these methods work on different ideas, both the clusters are formed apart from each other. The sequence won't be the same. Also, the distance won't be the same. And now it is important to keep in mind that these are 2 fundamentally different models. PCA finds linear projection which maximizes the preserved variance in the data, while LPP finds the linear projection which maximizes the preserved locality. So locality preserving projections uses the neighborhood characteristics to reduce the dimensions, and PCA on the other hand uses the variance in the data to reduce the dimensions. Now let's see where PCA and LPP differs. This is a really important topic, because there are a lot of dimensional reduction techniques available. A data scientist has to know when certain method has to be used, and the two can be made more clear by looking at the data with different properties. Now one example is data with outliers. So a lot of time we do come up with the data that has a lot of outliers. So in that case LPP can be really helpful. So in comparison to PCA, given that we are dealing with outliers, LPP is really a good choice to go with. Now let's see how this can help us. So let's create some random data points. Let's say we'll create some data points here, and we'll add it to a new variable called xnoisy. So here we are copying the original data X into xnoisy, and then we are trying to create some random points, and then we are assigning it to xnoisy. So here we are applying PCA and LPP transformations on xnoisy, and let's try to plot it. This is basically the result given by LPP, which is much better compared to PCA with outliers, because here LPP is able to classify maximum amount of data points into the cluster which it belongs to compared to PCA. So clearly, after doing this experiment, we are sure that when we're dealing with outliers, LPP is a far better choice compared to PCA, right? So in presence of outliers, the projection found by LPP is much more useful than the projection found by PCA. This is a very good lesson, or I would say a conclusion drawn by this experiment. So if you guys love this video, please do like it, share it with your friends, do comment in the comment box if you want to know the math behind this method, and try to make a video on that. If you have any other suggestions, do comment them as well, and definitely try to incorporate them in the upcoming videos. So until next time, happy coding.